I'm Palestine. The streets are a war zone. Police shooting, rubber bullets everywhere, even pregnant ladies getting shot, kids are getting killed, and I got pepper sprayed twice. We are stuck, can't go anywhere, we don't have money or passports. God, I miss just being able to clown on Trump. I got into politics last year and was not prepared to cope with all this depressing shit. This planet is so fucked.
Supported?
So it's not a complex issue. That's the big thing. It's super simple. There's one group that has enormous power. It's the most powerful country in the Middle East. It's backed by the United States. It acts on another population of people with total impunity and is never held accountable.
I've seen that it isn't genocide because the Palestinian population is still growing argument so much is obviously bullshit. What's the counter to that? It's literal Nazi fascist rhetoric against the Jews. Like, literally, straight up. Yeah. It's like saying, oh, these are not concentration camps where people are supposed to be killed because they have pools in them to, enjoy and have fun with. Like, it's just genocide denial. It's just what fascists do.
For anything. So there's no symmetry in the relationship, period. And just as like a thought experiment, IDW people, if we know that if somehow a population of Jewish refugees ended up in West Bank and Gaza, and an Arabic government in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv had an open air prison in Jewish Gaza, which they bombed with white phosphorus, they killed civilians indiscriminately, and they had no provisions for medicine. They had an embargo that blocked food, that the electricity wasn't running, that there was an over 48% unemployment rate, life expectancy and malnutrition statistics were horrifying. One of the major policymakers in this hypothetical Arabic Palestinian state said, we need to put those Jews on a diet. In the West Bank, there was another Jewish area where there was a little bit more autonomy, but there was regular Arabic settlements where they pulled up the Jewish farmers' foods, they terrorized them with rocks, the security forces broke children's bones, and they couldn't drive their own roads. We'd all have no problem understanding what that was. So there's nothing complex about it. The second part of your question, it's a pure asymmetry.
Dude, Iron Dome costs $250,000 for each day's rockets they intercept. They can't just sit and intercept rockets all day. This shit runs out at some point if you don't destroy weapons caches. How many kids? What's the cost of a Palestinian child's life to you? If you want to do math, let's do math. $40,000 is the cost of one intercepting rocket. Is that why? That's a reasonable justification for you? Do you understand why when you defend genocide on terms like that, on financial terms, on economic terms, you come across like a literal gigantic fucking Nazi? 13 kids so far have died in IDF bombings in Gaza. Is that good? Did they get the weapons cache? Not cache, sorry. Is that justifiable? Is that good? So far. That's just recent children deaths, by the way.
Free
Not this. That's this week, by the way.
Months of helping me spend my company's
Go ahead.
dollars.
Say it. Say it's okay for 13 kids, 13 Palestinian kids, to die because they're spending too much money intercepting missiles. What's the acceptable amount of child death? What is the acceptable amount of child murder? Sorry. That will justify a $40,000 missile that intercepts the Hamas missiles.
It's like this chat forgets.
But you don't want to think about it like they're children, because humanizing them reminds you of the unjustifiable actions that you are desperately trying to justify. Why doesn't Saudi Arabia fund Palestine? Why the fuck would the piece of shit Saudi government ever fucking help the Palestinians? Are you crazy? 13 is wrong. It's been 14. Okay, 14. What is the acceptable amount of civilian cover to launch said missiles? Apparently, for Israel, it's doesn't matter. 0 kids, 20 kids, literally doesn't matter. They'll still do it. You have to remember. That what you are doing in that situation is ultimately trying to justify murdering children, like deliberately and purposely murdering children, and then turning around and saying that it's the fucking child's fault, basically.
Yo, shout out Suze.
And that's all Hamas' fault for shooting rockets near children. No one else is responsible. Where are the rockets coming from? They are not coming from like, if you keep saying this, I am going to start treating the IDF like bloodthirsty animals. Because what you make it seem like is exactly that. The IDF cannot control their bloodthirst, is what you are basically saying. So they fucking, the babies deserve to die. Because they were in the vicinity of weapons caches, which, by the way, is not even fucking confirmed. I'm just full blown operating on the propaganda of Israel on that end. When there have been plenty of instances where they just murder innocent civilians, medics, disabled people, and straight up have been like, Hamas is using that as a meat shield. Sorry.
Arjan, have you seen the clips on Twitter of the Zionist lynch mobs in Haifa?
Should a cop murder a hostage in a bank robbery? I mean, no pixel has better fucking rules of engagement than the way you make the real world out to be.
Ourselves of Jews, then we can move on to Israel.
That's insane to me. Hamas is a horrifying terrorist organization that needs to be condemned, and it was funded and built up by the Israeli government for 20 years to quash a socialist uprising in Palestine. Yeah. Regardless of Hamas's presence, whenever you say, sorry, those kids had to die, you are basically stating that every Palestinian is equally responsible for the actions of Hamas. Okay? Which is ironically Hamas's take on all Jews, which you declare to be justifiably anti-Semitic, because it is anti-Semitic. When a terror group turns around and says all Jews are violent, bloodthirsty animals, or whatever kind of anti-Semitic shit that they say, you understandably say, well, that's anti-Semitic and unacceptable. Okay? But then you turn around and justify the actions of the Israeli government. The actions of the Israeli government, which are no different than, or in many instances, because of the sheer impact and power that Israel has, much, much worse than what Hamas is doing. This is, in essence, absolutely no different than saying black people commit crimes, so it's okay when the cops kill them. I'm going to use American terms for some of you supposedly progressive people to understand. IDF has literally attacked parliament members. They don't care. Offer Kassif was brutally attacked protesting by the terrorist IDF. He's a member of the Knesset, Israel's parliament, socialist, Jewish, and a staunch supporter of Palestine. Absolute king. The IDF doesn't give a fuck if you're Jewish or Muslim. Safe to watch.
Microchip, wish me luck.
But the police is not interested in that. They don't care about my immunity. They don't care about my rights. They just care about protecting the criminal settlers who invade here. And you see, they keep shooting now. They keep shooting here, although the demonstrators are peaceful. They didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. This is the police.
You are the bomb diggity, bro.
Then can the one holding the hostage just do whatever he wants? We have to listen and accept just because they have a hostage? That's not possible. Dude, yeah. Like that's how hostage situations work. Like literally. Like in a video game, in a bank robbery, yeah, you listen to the demands of the hostage in an effort to make sure that the hostage is alive in that altercation. Like that's the point I was making. Yes. Like, why do you go back and still basically say, like, fuck hostage negotiations? There's a hostage. RIP to the hostage, but I'm different. Time to murder everyone inside. But you literally want to fucking roll in, murder the hostage, and then be like, sorry, hostage, you shouldn't have fucking been there. Where else could the Palestinian child who died, the 13 Palestinian kids who died yesterday been? You think they were on a fucking vacation? In the Gaza Strip, dude? You think they were just like chilling? You're like, oh man. Like, where else could they have been, you think? Oh, wait, they can't go anywhere because they're in a fucking open air prison. So they can't even go anywhere. Anyway, that's like me trying to entertain hypotheticals to fucking blast people in the brain with empathy when they very clearly show that they do not care about empathy.
This is the police of this fascist government that protects the criminal settlers.
Can someone explain to me why there are so many hardcore Israel fans that would defend every action Israel does, even if they are not Jewish or ever interacted with one, even though they wouldn't excuse it either? I'm from Germany. It's crazy here, specifically the party that focuses on economics. Germany has a very specific reason for why they unconditionally defend all actions of Israel, for obvious reasons, but that's not, but if you're asking about like American Christians and why they support Israel, it's because common enemy, Muslims, and also more importantly, white evangelical Protestant Christians are in support of Israel's bloodthirsty conquest because they believe that that entire region is supposed to be given back to the Jews, and then all the Jews have to go there so that Armageddon happens. And there is a second coming of Jesus Christ who then battles a spawn of Satan in that area. And then the rapture occurs and all of the chosen sons of God, the evangelical Christians that get sucked up into the heavens, where all the Jews that, of course, did not convert to white evangelical Protestant Christianity, well, those guys also burn in hell in eternity. So it's not necessarily the most like pro-Jewish ideology, but hey, what are you going to do? They're the largest supporters of the state of Israel in this country, more so than American Jews. So, you know, just aligned on interests. What the fuck? That sounds like some insane video game lore. Yeah, well, what is it? Like 42% of Americans believe that angels exist, or a similar, a comparable percentage of Americans believe that Jesus Christ is going to come back to Earth before 2050. Like they're certain.
Against the Palestinian indigenous people and against peaceful demonstrators. All the world should know what's going on here. Don't support this neo-Nazi government. Do something about it.
Tried talking to my boyfriend about this, and he literally said that he would just bomb everything because it would never get better on its own. Yeah, I mean, people just are very quick to pull the fucking fascist trigger. And when you literally correct them and say, well, that's, you know, that's kind of what Hitler wanted to do as well, they're like, whoa, chill, dude. Because again, Hitler did not see Jewish people and disabled people and Romani people as human beings. Nazis did not see them as human beings. So all of the untold acts of cruelty and murder, genocide, all of that, the Holocaust, was justifiable to them because they weren't doing it to humans. Just like, in the eyes of many Zionists, Palestinians are not human beings. So all of this unjustifiable cruelty that they subject them to is not real. It's not. You're not doing it to a human. You're not even doing it to like a dog, a puppy. A puppy still has utility to these people. Like, you know, it's cute. They're like, that's why the fucking IDF literally talks about how vegan they are, bro. Like, think about how insane that is. Like, the IDF, the murderous occupying force, openly promotes how LGBT friendly they are and how vegan they are. It's like, who gives a fuck if you're not eating animal carcasses when you're literally like murdering children? Like, who cares? What the fuck? It's crazy.
18
Yeah, I
months
saw
old.
this already. Tel Aviv, the queer, feminist, egalitarian capital of the Middle East. Yes, Hamas is firing rockets at it because it's filled with Jews, but also because it stands as a beacon for human freedom. Yeah, I mean, this is the same exact, like, they hate our freedoms, brother. But hey, they hate our freedoms, brother, but make it like, you know, cosmopolitan and gay. Okay? Justify fascist genocide, but make it fucking kind of like hip and Zoomer like.
Relationship. And the question is rights or not. So that.
So let's see what the fucking Trevor Noah take was on this. So
Got
we
first
keep referring to
credit shot
progressive
this
liberals
morning.
supporting
Easy
Israel,
clap.
but I feel like it's not in the case in the EU. At least among people, politicians are a different story. Might be wrong. I mean, I saw what the fuck they did to I saw what they did to Corbyn in the UK. So
Hassle.
yeah, intersectional fascism, boys, is here. Taking up like the worst, most annoying parts of like aesthetics prone liberalism and tying it to like reactionary and very dangerous bloodthirsty ideologies like fascism. It's great. It's like the worst of both worlds. They fucking woke scold you and finger wag at you while they literally murder you. It is like the most, actually it's probably a positive for the Palestinians because like it's so fucking annoying that like most people that are normal are like, what? No, fuck that. Fuck off. Anyway. Yeah, the most vegan army of the world, boys. Here it is.
World Vegan Day, and I'm gonna show you.
Okay, while this fucking ad for the IDF runs, I'm gonna run another ad because it's top of the hour, and I need to run a 60-second ad break. Yeah, dude, your takes are right. I served in the IDF, and every day I woke up and said to myself, let's see how many Israeli children I can cleanse today. What? I can debate you if you want. You are incredibly biased on the issue, even though I usually respect your ideologies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm so biased, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm biased against fucking ethnic cleansing. I'm sorry. Like, it literally doesn't matter what the historical context of like an otherwise marginalized group of peoples and their shared history is. If you're doing ethnic cleansing, like, I'm going to fucking criticize the government that's doing ethnic cleansing. I also don't believe that, like, all Jews believe that what Israel is doing is right. I think that that's a ridiculous and ultimately anti-Semitic take as well. Anyway. So, anyway, like I said, I got to run an ad here. If you want to no longer see the ads, all you can do is subscribe. You can do that. You can subscribe for free, by the way, with a Twitch Prime. Statements like that feels just very just following orders. I mean, it is. It is literally just following orders. By the way, I mean, you have to serve in the IDF. I'm pretty sure they will jail you if you say fuck that. You go to jail for not serving. Yeah, it's the ethnic cleansing for me, sweaty. Okay, I'm gonna run the ad now. Like I said, you can avoid the ad breaks. Here's the 1 minute ad now, and I gotta go pee.
Most vegan army in the world. In the IDF,
Poggers, dude.
there are over 10,000 vegan soldiers. That's one out of every 18 soldiers. Every soldier has the freedom to choose vegan boots instead of leather ones, vegan berets instead of wool ones, and vegan food options for every single meal. This is Miri.
Hi, my name is Miri and I've been vegan for 5 years. When I joined the IDF, I knew that keeping a vegan lifestyle was important to me. Come with me and I'll show you what's for lunch. We have salads, rice, lentils, and even a stir fry. For me, being a vegan is about health and animal rights. And I am proud that I can continue doing my part for both people and animals.
Happy International Vegans Day!
The mouth. L. Can we all agree religious dogma is fucking annoying? Has Saj.
Hayır şu anda olmaz. Şu anda geri. Yok. The Wonder Women of the Israel Defense Force. Oh my god, dude.
Pog.
Yeah, when you care more about animal rights than fucking Palestinian human rights, dude. Great example. It's just great. Here, let's watch this now.
And I know that even saying that sentence means I'm losing followers online and I'm on the verge of being blocked on all social media and in life. That's how contentious this topic is. I mean,
Oh no, dude. Fucking not losing followers, brother. Shut up. What? Yeah, ama ne olduğunu söyleyeyim mi önce? Domuz. Umursamıyorsun artık öyle mi? Hem de Ramazan'da, vay anasını. Domuz çipi, çip. Domuzdan yapılmış çip. ...42.000 insan duydu domuz yediğini.
Doing my part for
Okay, I'm just informing her that 42,000 people heard that she was eating pork in the middle of Ramadan too. Canceled by Allah.
before you even finish the sentence, people are like, "You idiot! How dare you!"
Dude, stop spamming. I'm not going to watch and read Arabic fucking news resources, okay? Please stop. I don't know how to read Arabic, and I'm not gonna fucking sit there and like try to parse through Google Translate, okay? Jesus Christ, this motherfucker's just like, dude, come on. I got fucking Arabic sources, bro. You gotta watch the Arabic sources.
Shut the hell up! But guys, we have to talk about it. Because this is one of the most difficult stories that has existed in our lifetime. I mean, there are lots of fights that seem like they'll never come to an end.
Kill the Jews, kill the Jews,
India
kill the
versus
Jews, kill the
Pakistan,
Jews, kill the 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 Jews, kill the...
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why would you fucking donate? Why would you donate? With your fucking email, dude. I love doing this, okay? Obviously, I'm not going to dox this person, but I love when dumb motherfuckers literally go, and it's like always some idiot with like a fucking student account too. Like, so not only do I know your name, okay, but I also know what school you go to. Like, I could fucking literally report you to your fucking dean. Not only am I going to report you to Twitch, okay, and Streamlabs is going to automatically ban you, but like, now you've put yourself in a compromised position where your school could take action against you. It's so good. It's so fucking awesome when these Nazi fucks come in here and like literally write the dumbest shit. Like, just So good. So incredibly good. Brain dead. But I guess, listen, I mean, you're a fucking Nazi. You're not very smart to begin with, so.
China versus Tibet, white people versus rhythm. But Israel versus Palestine is a 73-year-old beef that has stumped everybody. I mean, when it stumped Jared, you knew that this thing was difficult. But the paradox is that because Israel and Palestine has been ongoing for so long, people forget that it is ongoing. That is until there are flare-ups that the world cannot ignore, which is what happened again this week.
Overnight, a deadly barrage from Israeli forces lighting up the skies over Gaza. And in the West Bank, warning sirens echoing through Bethlehem. Earlier, Palestinian militant groups firing more than 200 rockets into Israel. Most of the Hamas rockets stopped by Israel's missile defense system, or they fell short. Israeli strikes reportedly killing at least 23 people, including 9 children. Israel saying the dead were militants. At least 6 Israelis were reported injured. Tensions have been escalating over Israeli moves to evict Palestinian families from their homes in East Jerusalem. They boiled over as more than 100 worshippers and protesters were injured as Israeli police stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque using tear gas and rubber bullets.
Bro, you don't understand, dude. Hamas, though. You know, like, Hamas is gonna... They assumed that Hamas would potentially in the future fire rockets. So that's why they were premeditatively. They got Tom Cruise in fucking Minority Report style future crime combatants. And that's why they beat the shit out of and brutalized mosque goers in the West Bank or in occupied Jerusalem. That's why. You fool. You don't understand. This was a completely fucking a reasonable act. I mean, also BLM, by the way. Hashtag BLM. Hashtag solidarity with the black folk. But also, this is fucking sweaty. You don't understand. Like, this is justifiable colonization and you know, ethnic cleansing because it happened to them first. So, yeah. Hashtag BLM. Police brutality. And militant brutality against Palestinians is acceptable because it's far away and Muslims kind of scary. You know what I mean? That's what it. Yeah, pre-self-defense, pretty good.
Yes, this week the conflict escalated again, and now dozens of people are dead, including children. And look, man, what makes Israel-Palestine such a difficult topic to even broach is all the layers that are packed into it. No matter how much you try and break it down, people are always going to say that you're leaving out some crucial piece of context. And you know what the truth is? They're probably right. I mean, there's the history of how Israel became a state after Nazi Germany tried to destroy the Jewish people. But there's also the history of the British taking the land from the Palestinians. Not to mention that every other country in the region has its own issues and its own agendas. And then on top of all of that, there's religion involved. And I don't care what anybody says, man, religion is the one thing that has never calmed any situation when there's a clash. And you know what makes it even harder? Is the fact that who's right and who's wrong always seems to change depending on when you start measuring time. This week was the...
I hope he fucking... I hope... Oh my God. I hope he doesn't like unironically make the argument that like, well, 2,000 years ago. Let's start with 2,000 years ago.
Perfect example of it. If you start from Israel fired rockets into Gaza, well, then Israel is the bad guy because they're bombing Gaza. But then you take a step back in time, you go, well, Hamas fired rockets at Israel. Well, then Hamas is the bad guy. But then you take a step back and you go, but the Israeli police, they went in and started beating people up in a mosque during Ramadan, the most holy time in the Muslim calendar. Well, then Israel is the bad guy. But then you go, well, the Palestinians, they were throwing rocks. Well, the Israelis, they were kicking people out of their homes. Well, the Intifada, well, Israel keeps taking more and more land. Well, the Arab invasion, and back and back and back, and who knows how far.
Wait, I mean, there is a point you can stop at. Like, there is a point that is like, wait, why do we just stop at like, wait, oh, hold on, Arab invasion? I mean, this motherfucker is not actually comparing rocks to missiles and ethnic displacement, right? Like, there's no way, especially as someone who literally grew up in apartheid Africa, South Africa, there is no fucking way that he is both sides in the conflict. Well, the Boers were technically oppressed by the British or the Dutch, I guess, or is it the British? I don't fucking know. I don't know the exact history. So, like, you know, who's to say that the white South Africans weren't the victims of the post apartheid? Yeah, like I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. Who's to say? I just can't tell.
Like, you probably find the first cavemen who hit each other with clubs were probably Israeli and Palestinian. I don't know.
Bro, come on, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And look, I don't want to have that argument. I want to have that argument and the noise that goes back and forth in this thing because honestly, I don't think that any TV show in 10 minutes is going to come close to solving Israel-Palestine. And 10 minutes isn't even enough time to explain the Mortal Kombat conflict. So I'm not even trying to come in and do that, right? I'm not trying to do that. The part where we say who's good and who's bad and who started, let's step away from that and instead ask a different question. Instead, let's look at who's dead and who's alive this week. In Gaza, Israeli airstrikes have reportedly killed 28 people, including 10 children.
14 now.
Over 150 people have been wounded. In Israel, Hamas rockets have killed 2 people. And this exchange of fire comes after the Israeli assault in and around the Al-Aqsa Mosque that left more than 600 Palestinian protesters, worshippers, and civilians.
Dude, that blows my mind that, like, dudes who literally still have hashtag BLM, like, in America, there are people right now with hashtag BLM in their bios looking at this thing and going, well, they were throwing rocks. Like, that's fucking crazy. I don't think he's going to equivocate. I don't think he's going to say these the response is proportionate.
And a few dozen Israeli police. Now, personally, I'm not saying for you, just personally, I cannot watch that footage and hear those numbers.
Stop making BLM analogies. You're so stupid. Stop. Why? Why? Why should I stop making BLM analogies from a motherfucker who just started following me 26 minutes ago? Why? Because does it offend your sensibilities that you get outed as a fucking gigantic racist because you don't think Palestinians are human? Is that why? With your fucking dumbass sock account, you pussy? That's why. Stop making BLM analogies because it makes me feel bad because I'm realizing the hypocrisy in my fucking worldview. I hate it when you make a BLM analogy.
And see a fair fight. Like, set aside motives and intentions and just look at technology. Technology alone. Israel has one of the most powerful militaries in the world. They can crush Gaza like that. Not to mention one of the most advanced defense systems in the world. You shoot a rocket at them, it's probably not going to do anything to them because of their defense system.
The mosque story is a lie, he says. Oh my God, dude. Pathetic.
Right? They've got a giant Mutombo in the sky just knocking them down. And I know that this is contentious. And I know that people are going to hate me for this. But I just want to ask an honest question here. If you are in a fight where the other person cannot beat you, how hard should you retaliate when they try to hurt you? Honest question. And I ask this question because I think of it like this. When I was a teenager, I would always get into fights with my little brothers. And little kids can be vicious, right? They're trying to punch you in the leg, they're trying to punch you in the nuts. They're kids, they do that. But my mom would say to me, whenever I get angry, she'd go, Trevor, don't hit the kid back because they can't hurt you. You're a teenager and the kid is 4. And I was like, yeah, but the kid is hitting me. He could hurt me. But my mom was like, yeah, but you're also so much bigger than the kid. You can crush him in an instant. And please don't get me wrong right now, because I know someone's going to watch this and go like, oh, you're comparing Palestinians to children. No, I'm not doing that. I'm telling a story about myself. Honestly, I am. Because what my mom made me understand is that as a person who has immensely more power, I had to ask myself whether my response to this child was just or necessary. Could I find different ways to deal with this? Whether I felt aggrieved or not, or whether they were fighting fair, was almost irrelevant. Was I even able to ask myself the question about why they were doing what they're doing? Was I willing to admit guilt? This was all part of the question that I had to ask myself. But the main question I ask in this situation is about power. And please, again, I know this is not a great analogy, because I'm not saying Palestinians are children. I'm not just saying they're all children, right? I'm not saying that they're harmless or that they're irrational or acting out. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not. I'm just talking about the difference in power, which is something we do all the time. I mean, think about policing. If a man has a knife, should the cops shoot him? In many parts around the world, like in the UK, they say, well, we're going to do everything we can to try and not shoot the person, even at risk to ourselves, because at the end of the day, they brought a knife to a gunfight. So what's the right response? Well, I mean, everyone has a different answer to the question, and I'm not trying to answer the question, nor do I think I'm smart enough to solve it.
Bro, I can't even... I'm sorry, boys. This is the softest fucking baby shit you can get. Like, how fucking fearful are you, dude, that you're gonna get canceled? That, like, you can't even be like... You have to qualify it 11 times and only talk about the asymmetry of power without like actually talking about how unjustifiable that bloodshed is. I think it minimizes everything that Israel does when you exclusively fucking think about it from the framework of like a child being able to, yeah, this is what I was going to get to. Hold on. Being able to fight back or not. And it's additionally fucking strange when you yourself wrote an entire book about your personal experience in apartheid South Africa, and like that has guided your worldview so tremendously that you have a unique and profound perspective on an oppressive nation state comprised of a group of people who they themselves also have a story of being marginalized and then subjected others to tremendous marginalization and oppression and cruelty.
All I'm asking is, when you have this much power, what is your responsibility?
Yeah, I guess you can't do that. Funny part is this take will probably still get him hate from Zionists. It's not enough to support ethnic cleansing. Listen. I know. Ben Shapiro has been like fucking screeching about how inappropriate it is that the media is even covering what Israel is doing without uniformly fucking attacking Palestinians for being there. Like, anyway. How is it seen as a bad take? I think it's a light take, dude. It's literally the lightest take, actually. Not just a fucking light take, but the lightest. It's still, at least it's on the right side functionally. Let me see what John.
Israeli
Wait, I want to see if there's like blood or TOS in this because it's old TV. Who knows what the rules were?
Tonight, Israeli tanks are positioned outside the entrances to Gaza, awaiting orders to invade as the aerial bombardments from both sides continues.
Mwah! Tastes great, more killing. Look, both.
Mate, leave the analogies, please. This is a singularity. It is about two states, and Palestinian and Israelis have a vote to Israel, so no apartheid. Fascist regimes suppress and brainwash people on both sides. Poland was no theocratic regime, and Indians don't shot fucking rockets at civilians, nor did they murder people who facilitated the fragile peace. So no American exceptionalism analogy, please. This is a fucking singularity. Everything, each little conflict spirals out of proportion. Okay, Wilhelm Krull, learn how to fucking spell analogies before you come in here with such fucking idiotic takes. And to say that like the Indians did not fucking fight back against the colonizers is hilarious. I don't know what you mean by Poland was no theocratic regime. And that's incredible, dude. You're unironically contributing to the same thing that I've been so incredibly critical of over and over again.
Sides are engaging in aerial bombardment, but one side appears to be better at it. Most Hamas rockets are neutralized by Israel's Iron Dome technology, and Israeli citizens can even now download a warning app.
You'll get it on your phone, and you'll know exactly what city is being targeted and when it's being targeted.
Well, that's the $2.99 version. The free version.
No, he didn't even say both Palestinians and Israelis get the vote. He said Palestinian Jews or Palestinians who were offered Israeli citizenship, a program that stopped very quickly, are able to vote, so there's no apartheid. Completely avoiding the reality of the territories that Israel is currently occupying, where the people that live there have no fucking rights or anything. Israeli Arabs, yeah. Israeli Arabs, who are also, by the way, still literally fucking oppressed, for the record. Like, Israeli Arabs are not, like, some of them are way over the top from what I have seen, and will literally fucking join the IDF and talk about like, oh, I love, I love doing this. I love the IDF, whatever. Like there are the tokenized Israeli Arabs or ones that feel like they have an air of superiority over other Palestinians. You see a similar thing with like Ethiopian Jews and shit like that too. But by and large, Israel is not fucking kind to Ethiopian Jews or African Jews, nor are they kind overall to Palestinian Jews either, or Israeli Arabs, I guess. There are no Israeli Arabs. What the fuck? Yes, there are. What are you talking about?
The free version, you have to watch a clip of Transformers 4. And then, if you can get it off the screen, they'll tell you where the bomb is going. So Israelis seem to have a high-tech smartphone alert system. How are the Gazans notified?
Basically, a small mortar explosion on the roof of a building, which serves as an Israeli warning of an upcoming airstrike.
So the Israeli military warns Gaza residents of imminent bombing with a smaller warning bombing. An amuse-boom, if you will. And then, at that point...
I don't even think they do that now. I don't even think they do that now. They don't even do that anymore. They do like fucking bringing back all the classic blood libels. If you have BLM in your bio and were shocked by the kettle and corral strategy you saw the American police engage in, where they push protesters into pockets and gas them, you should also know they learned that from the IDF. This is wait. But it's true. Oh, they still do the mortar? But this is literally true. They clearly believe the prayer mats were flying carpets in fear for their lives. Oh. Wait, Ben Shabibo retweeted this? Ben Shabibo retweeted this? What a pussy, dude. He won't engage me directly, but he's fucking retweeting. Hold on. I'm gonna fucking respond to both Ben Shabibo and the tweet instead of. God damn, this motherfucker tweets a lot, dude. Where is it? Or I guess he might have liked it. I don't see it on his timeline. Oh, he did. He actually did retweet this. Okay, bringing back all the classic Bud. Okay, change your display name. Oh yeah, true. I mean, I gotta find something that like I gotta find an article from like a website that they're not immediately going to be upset about. You know what I mean? Because like if I use like Al Jazeera, they're gonna be like, well, Muslim site. Come on. You know what I mean? Blood libel is when you say something truthful about U.S. police in Israel. This is literally like, this inherently is anti-Semitic. When you look to something truthful and real, and also like, when I'm talking about something that literally happened, that people actually celebrated at the time. Like, I could probably even find a tweet from Ben Shapiro from back in like 2000, like in the post 9/11 era, like celebrating that the IDF was training our police force and that's why they're so good. But then like, but when I say it, because who is saying it, it all of a sudden turns into fake news. I mean, that's Seattle Times, where the people in Seattle wanted to stop the IDF training of their police force, but here, this is good. JewishVirtualLibrary.org. I've read this before. I've seen this. This is receipts better than what else you can fucking find. He didn't retweet it? Yes, he did. He retweeted the quote tweet. That's why its at is under here. What 1,000 top U.S. cops have learned in Israel and why it's controversial. I want to fucking scold him. I know Amnesty USA covered it too. Look, everything that you use that's not like literally just direct sources, these motherfuckers will say is like they're trying to be woke and that's why they support terrorism or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I feel like he's bastardizing the concept of blood libel by, okay, blood libel, for those of you who don't know, and I'll just directly say it from the Wikipedia page, but it's just like lying about shit to be like, oh, it's the Jews responsible for it. Remember how I always talk about like every fucking conspiracy theory has anti-Semitic roots usually? Like it always finds itself to be neatly wrapped with the bow of anti-Semitism throughout history. So that's what it is. Blood libel or ritual murder libel, also blood accusation, is an anti-Semitic canard which falsely accused Jews of murdering Christian children or other Gentiles in order to use their blood in the performance of religious rituals. Historically, these claims, alongside those of well poisoning and host desecration, have been a major theme in the persecution of Jews in Europe. So it's so blood libel colloquially is used whenever you're like finding a way to inappropriately blame the Jews for a thing that they had nothing to do with. Except I'm not doing that. I am straight up posting. I'm straight up talking. Oh, adrenochrome is a good example, actually. Yeah. I'm not a subscriber, but can you check a video, please? No. He's trying to say that I'm like falsely accusing Jews, which IDF is not supposed to be a representation of, for the record. Can't believe the Jewish virtual library is doing blood libel. Shaking my head. There you go. That's why I didn't want to fucking do like Guardian or some shit. Here you go. I'll retweet it too. Anyway, let's move on. Blood libel, dude. Motherfucker said blood libel. Anyway.
At that point, what are Gazans supposed to do?
The Israeli military telephoned the neighbor to warn them to evacuate, but they only had 3 minutes.
Evacuate to where? Have you seen Gaza? It's this, Israel blocked this border, Egypt blocked this border. Were they supposed to swim for it? Perhaps nothing sums up the asymmetrical nature of this conflict more than a quick check-in with the correspondents assigned to the respective beats.
Tonight, we have the view from the ground on both sides, starting with Martin Fletcher in Tel Aviv.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I mean, there you go. You don't literally, you fucking need nothing else than that image.
Look at this. The Gaza reporter looks like an extra from the Hurt Locker. While the reporter in Israel looks like he's gonna bang out his stand-up and then head to a Jimmy Buffett concert. They're a living
Jesus Christ.
Political cartoon for the war in the Middle East. So the world has gone mad.
Kind of fucked up that people are laughing about Palestinians being killed. Listen, dude. It's one of the fucking few ways that you can get dumbass Americans to understand it, okay? What is this? Hamas, Palestinians in Gaza flew a Nazi flag at the Israel border. Hamas, a terrorist organization that has radicalized Palestinians. Like, I will never understand this argument, dude. Yeah, they fucking people also say like fuck the Jews all the time. They are anti-Semitic. Like, yeah. Yeah, I know. So what do we do here? Are you supposed to wipe out innocent fucking people that are not? Is that the way to go about it? I don't think people comprehend this. Like, I'm not saying Hamas is good, okay? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Hamas is not a justification for fucking occupying the West Bank and subjecting every fucking Palestinian to every fucking Palestinian to endless an endless amount of cruelty and subject them to murder and displacement. People don't realize, like I don't know where the fuck this comes from. Like, do people actually think that like people make it seem like Hamas is radicalizing people? No, motherfucker, your bombs are, dude. Your bombs are. Okay? Your fucking bombs are. Your endless bombing campaign is radicalizing people. You fucking idiot. Joe Biden says Israel has right to defend itself after call with Netanyahu. Joe Biden. Oh, wow. Biden says he expects violence to end in Israel to end sooner rather than later. Oh, nice, dude. Oh, yeah. I remember that, him saying this shit. Trayvon Martin was 5'11", same height as me, and I'm 30. Child or not, he was adult size. I mean, Ben Shabibo's got a nice fucking little Trayvon Martin take, too. Oh, I don't know where people are at, but something that helped me when I was learning more about Palestine a few years ago was reading about the everyday mechanisms of control the Palestinians deal with, from roads to water to ID cards. Thought I'd share. Some people are more equal than others. 6.6 million Jewish Israelis, Jewish citizens of Israel. 12.7 million Palestinians, Palestinian citizens of Israel, barred by committees from living in 68% of towns in Israel, of course. East Jerusalem Palestinians, 0.3 million. Israel may revoke residency if living outside of Jerusalem. West Bank Palestinians, barred by Israel from all but 38% of West Bank. Gaza Strip Palestinians, 1.9 million, barred by Israel from living outside of Gaza since 2007. That's why I always laugh when people are like, why don't they just leave? I don't know, man. I don't know why they don't leave. The 2 million people living in the world's largest open air prison, like, why don't they just fucking leave? Like, think about we talk about spawn points and like bad spawn points here, right? And we talk about empathy towards like migrants, you know, economic migrants, refugees that are trying to come into the United States to find a better future for themselves, and like how fucking cruel conservatives are and the way that they shit on them. But like, think about this shit, dude. Talk about a fucking spawn point, brother. You literally have nothing, dude. Bombs are flying up over your head. There is no way out. You're fucking stuck. You don't have clean water. Like, you have shoddy electricity. Like, what the fuck are you going to do? What is Gaza? This. You see this? Right here on the map? That's Gaza. That's the Gaza Strip. And surrounded by all parts by the Israeli occupying force. And also, there's water on the other side, but that side is also not connected. There's a sea blockade. There's a water blockade too. 6.4 million exiled Palestinians barred by Israel from returning to their homelands since 1948. Israel controls the land, air, and sea. Today, Israeli